What would a live-action Batman Beyond movie have looked like? Well, we almost got a glimpse of it in 2024, coming hot off the heels of the Flash film. Yes, we almost got a Batman Beyond movie with Michael Keaton in it. However, because of the failings of the Flash movie, on a box office level, on a critics level, at this point the DCEU was just shut down. Gunn's DCEU came into play. But I want to take a look at what we almost got, because a lot of people have been wanting a Batman Beyond film. A lot of my own fans have said, hey, can you make a video on Batman Beyond, on what a good Batman Beyond live action film would look like, what they were planning for the Batman Beyond film, and what could have made the Batman Beyond story better? What makes the perfect Batman Beyond film? I'm taking a break from the Jeffrey stuff. I'm not going to say his last name because I think I might just get demonetized every time I use it, but I need to take a break. I need to cool off the algorithm before my channel gets run into the ground and demonetized completely, okay? Terry McGinnis. Who is he? Well, he's a futuristic Batman in a neo-noir futuristic Gotham City where Bruce Wayne's old. He's old as shit. He's a grandpa at this point. And he is training Terry McGinnis to be the next Batman. Reluctantly at first, but he gives in and says, yeah, this guy's worthy to be the next Batman. Michael Keaton was supposed to play this older Bruce Wayne. He was the older Bruce Wayne in the Flash movie, and this was supposed to be kind of a continuation to that Bruce Wayne story when he gets back to his world. He's an older Bruce Wayne in a futuristic Gotham City training Terry McGinnis. I would love to have seen a Gotham, Tim Burton's Gotham, with a futuristic Blade Runner vibe to it. That would have been sick to see as well. Here's what the story was, apparently. The story of the Batman Beyond film would have explored a darker, grittier future, similar in tone to Logan. Okay. Potentially featuring a romantic subplot with the returning Michelle Pfeiffer as Selena Kyle. Okay, interesting. I don't know if romantic subplot means Bruce Wayne, old grandpa Bruce Wayne, and old Michelle Pfeiffer are having a romance. She's a grandma. Or maybe Terry McGinnis has a romantic subplot. Who knows? But this is what I got and gathered from the internet about that plot. And apparently it was rumored that Blight, Mr. Powers himself, was supposed to be the main villain, as he is the arch nemesis of Batman Beyond in the animated series. So Christina Hodson was reported as the screenwriter. She had wrote for Birds of Prey and The Flash. Not the best resume when it comes to comic book movies, but okay. She had written a live-action Batman Beyond script that was well received by the studios. Interesting. But then it all got torn away from us. I don't know how I feel about the idea of there being a romantic subplot in a Batman Beyond film, especially if we're trying to newly introduce this character. It would definitely involve Michael Keaton as the person training our new Batman, but who would play Terry McGinnis? Because Terry McGinnis is supposed to be a very charismatic dude. He's not just fully brooding and serious all the time and dark and gritty. No. If you've seen the Batman Beyond movie Return of the Joker, he out-Jokers Joker in trash talk. He trash talks the Joker and laughs at him. This is Joker when Jason Todd becomes Joker. He out-Jokers Joker. He makes a mockery out of the Joker. Joker's like, shut the fuck up, and starts coming at him. Like, that's the kind of guy we're dealing with. You need to have an actor who's charismatic who can pull that off. Now, fan castings have said, hey, let's add Joe Keery into the mix. Let's make him Terry McGinnis. As much as I like Joe, I think he's much better suited for a role like Harry Osborn. Personally. I do have someone in mind for Terry McGinnis, though. And that is Mr. Dylan O'Brien. We would have seen him just recently in the film Send Help with Rachel McAdams. I think Dylan O'Brien is an amazing actor. I really wanted him to play Peter Parker, personally. What's funny about this is Dylan O'Brien has played an assassin or a badass vigilante before in the movie called American Assassin. Not the best movie in the world for sure, but he was convincing in the combat scenes and all that. Like, he was pretty decent. And you know what? Guess who else was in the film? Michael Keaton as his trainer, mentoring him, teaching him combat. It's set up for you. The blueprint is there, and these two work very well together. They have good chemistry. This is it. This is your casting for Batman Beyond. It simply is. Terry McGinnis's origin story. It's very, very dark. Here's what it is. Amanda Waller was like, okay, Bruce Wayne's getting old. We need another Batman. So I'm going to replicate that. I'm going to take Batman's DNA and implant it to the point of replacing an entire genome within a man and finding the right couple and reproducing someone as the son, the heir apparent to the Batman legacy. So she literally used Bruce Wayne's DNA and got a couple together and dabbled that DNA in there, and they got a son, Terry. Terry, as a kid, was walking with his parents one day, and she's like, okay, we need to replicate what happened to Bruce Wayne. So not only on a DNA level am I creating a Bruce Wayne, we're going to replicate the murder of his parents so that we can inflict that trauma onto this child and have him become a vigilante. He could end up being a serial killer for all we know. Amanda Waller is a psycho nut job, by the way. That just needs to be said. So she hires the Phantasm and Andrea Beaumont, Bruce Wayne's former love, to do this. Andrea Beaumont says, fuck no. I saw what happened to Bruce. I saw what's happened to his life. It's a tragedy. The fuck, I'm not doing this. And even Amanda Waller's like, okay, maybe I went too far. We'll cancel this project. We'll let Terry live a normal life. Well, as much of a normal life as he can. Terry does go on to live a life of early crime as his parents get a divorce, so his life isn't the best, but still, this shit's dark, y'all. Amanda Waller was doing some genetic engineering for like a child soldier type shit. That's what she was doing. That's how crazy Amanda Waller is. I might make a whole video about how Amanda Waller low-key's like one of the worst people in fiction, like Judge Holden level, the type of shit she was planning. I think a good Batman Beyond story follows a similar blueprint to the Kingsman film. Darker in tone and vibe, don't get me wrong, but Kingsman, where you have a character like Eggsy, who is mentored by the senior spy who invites him into this organization and tells him of his origin and who his parents were and all that kind of stuff, and it brings him all along into this adventure and trains him to become his protege, the next big spy, even after he falls, you know? I think this needs to follow a very similar blueprint. It just makes sense to me. A Batman Beyond film that's great will follow a very simple hero's journey. You could call it predictable and cliche and all that shit, fine. But compared to what I think the DCEU was about to do, I don't know, I just don't have faith in a lot of film producers nowadays, right? I like the idea of the opening scene being this kid walking alone in an alleyway with his parents, and you think, oh shit, it's a Bruce Wayne origin story. But no, an assassin comes up to them, right? You think they're about to die, and you think, oh shit, it's the Wayne family death all over again. But no. It's almost like an intimidating, horror, scary scene, but then the assassin backs off and leaves. And the family's just left there, not knowing what the hell just happened. Scared, but nothing really bad or traumatic has occurred. Shift to the present day, we see the city, the nightlife of this futuristic Gotham City. We got some dark neon lights. Imagine Tim Burton's aesthetic, but futuristic with some Blade Runner level lighting happening here, okay? We see our boy Terry McGinnis, who seems to be up to no good. He's stealing a fucking car with his friends or some shit in a life of crime in the middle of the city. All right, he's not contributing to society very well right now. Okay, we see his home life. He goes back home. His parents are divorced. His mom is fighting with his dad on settlement arrangements and all this stuff. There's a stepdad, or there's another guy that his mom is dating as well at this point, and he hates him. You know, it's really, really bad. So Terry McGinnis is trying to escape from his social life by going and doing just stupid shit with his friends. And they get involved with the wrong people one day. This gang called the Jokers, as they're called. People who are inspired off of the original Joker. They're in a gang together, okay? And they said, hey, you want to make some money? Come join us. Let's see what you got. Right? So they join the Jokers. The Jokers try to kill a couple people. They rob some place, hold people hostage, and somebody gets shot. Our boy Terry says, oh hell no, we're done. We're out of here. We don't want any part of this. So they flee for their fucking lives. But the cops track all of them down. Terry and his friend are thrown in jail while the other Jokers escape. Terry's getting interrogated right now in a cell. Because he fled from the cops, they throw him in jail and they post bail. And they say, someone's got to pay this amount for you. And Terry's like, no one's going to pay that amount for me. My parents are fucking broke. Someone does pay the tab. Whoever might that be. And Terry's given a message, an address to go to. So he goes to Wayne Manor. A dilapidated Wayne Manor on the outskirts of the city, the last piece of old architecture before the majority of the city blocks were torn down for some more futuristic aesthetic buildings, you know what I'm saying? There he meets Bruce Wayne, alright? He wonders, why the hell did you pay for me? Like, what is this? What connection do we have? Bruce Wayne just tries to give him affirmations like, bro, you were meant for more than this, man. I don't like seeing the youth thrown into these situations. I think you can do good. And Terry's like, how do you don't know me, man. You don't know me. Terry's about to leave because he's done with this conversation. Like, who's this weird old creepy dude in this creepy mansion paying for me? Am I getting molested or something? Bruce says to him, he asks him something. He says, do you ever wonder why they weren't killed that night? And Terry's like, who? What are you talking about? And he's like, your parents in that alleyway. Something happened that night. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Now Terry's shook. He's like, how do you know this? That's a specific memory I have. And you're unearthing it. And Bruce is like, I know more than you think. I know everything about you, Terry. Terry leaves, is scared shitless of this, because he's like, who's this old man who knows everything? Who's this guy? So he goes back to his house, but the Jokers are waiting for him. The Jokers are waiting for him and gang up on him, beat the shit out of him. They beat the shit out of his dad, brutally beat his dad, hold his mom hostage. The Jokers are waiting because, hey, bro, you were witness to what happened last night. You cannot be allowed to live. But here comes Michael Keaton as Old Man Batman to the rescue, fighting off these guys. Now, Keaton isn't the same level of badass that he was in the Flash film. He is a bit rusty himself, so he needs help. That's where Ace comes in. The dog that we love from the Batman Beyond animated stuff. That brings us into our second act. We get introduced to Mr. Powers, who will be played by the guy who played Howard Stark, right? It just makes sense. They look the same. He leads the Wayne and Powers merger. He's basically ruined Wayne Enterprises by doing this, by the way. He's very corrupt, and he has dealings with the Joker gang directly. They help him with some stuff, like political assassinations. They kill any person that he wants dead. They manipulate the stock market for him. They dabble in drugs and human experimentation and weapons, a specific kind of weapon, which we'll get to, that he uses to experiment on people before selling it. We're going to get to that. Meanwhile, Terry's dad, he's under medical care by Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne has his own state-of-the-art infrastructure hospital wing. So Terry is feeling very guilty that he's led this Joker gang to his family. That's where Bruce Wayne kind of starts telling him the truth about what's going on here. Why he's helping Terry. He reveals his identity to Terry. Terry's shook. He's like, what the fuck? There were people that wanted you to replace me. The reason your parents weren't killed that day is because a mistake happened and you were let go. So he's revealing all this. This is a bombshell of information. And they tell him that they wanted to put you through the same trauma that I went through. An assassin was sent to kill your parents that night, but the assassin changed his mind. So Terry's like, what the fuck are you talking about? So, in the course of this conversation, Terry, because he's just been told that Bruce Wayne's Batman, he's like, okay, if I was supposed to be Batman, and you're now Batman help me get payback on the Joker gang for what they just did to my family. Bruce is like, that's not what this is about. I'm not here to help you with your own personal revenge crusade. I saw a young man wasting his life and decided to intervene, that's it. And Terry's like, no, I don't buy it. But okay, if you're not going to help me, I'll do it myself. So Terry tries. Terry tries to inflict justice via vengeance on the Joker gang himself. He kind of gets his ass whooped badly. Bruce Wayne finds him, heals him up, and says, you're doing it all wrong, kid. You're making every single mistake that I used to make when I first started. So Terry's like, okay, teach me. Train me. So Bruce is like, all right, I'll give you a shot. Let's see. Only I decide if you get to do this shit again. So they go through a brutal training regimen. And I mean brutal. The training stuff in American Assassin, that film, is going to be nothing compared to what he puts Terry through. Meanwhile, Bruce Wayne is very sussed out about Buster Powers. They have meetings because they're both part of this merger. And Bruce Wayne's like, I'm starting to suspect that this dude has really bad intentions for this company. Meanwhile, let's say Terry might be training with some former Robins of this Tim Burton world. Who knows? And in the course of this training, he's showing really good ability to the point where Bruce Wayne's like, he's starting to question. He's trying to think back to what Amanda Waller was trying to do. And he's like, can a Batman be born without tragedy? Maybe if Terry actually is able to come through with this and become something, this proves everything wrong, or this proves Amanda Waller wrong, her entire experiment was wrong. Maybe my path in life could have been different. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this Batman is not born out of the darkness. You know, it's like a very personal thing for Bruce seeing Terry train in this way, because Terry isn't born from tragedy. His parents didn't get killed in front of him. He hasn't had the best life, but still, there's gonna be dialogue scenes where they're talking, and Terry asks Bruce, like, what's going on with your personal life? Like, what's happened since you've retired as Batman? And it's kind of revealed, like, Bruce kind of doesn't have a wife, he doesn't have a kid, he doesn't really have much of a social life. It's kind of non-existent. His goals are still vigilante oriented, and it's sad. It is sad for someone like Terry, and you see that in these dialogue scenes. Meanwhile, Bruce hires a psychologist, a woman who seems to know him from the past, to help Terry out. A psychologist named Mrs. Beaumont, Andrea Beaumont, played by Gillian Anderson because she's so attractive. But Gillian Anderson, she's old now. This Andrea Beaumont is Phantasm, by the way, the same assassin that was hired to kill Terry's parents, but Terry doesn't know this. So she sits down with Terry, do a psychological profile on him, question him. She's doing this to test him and make sure he's stable, because Bruce Wayne needs to see where this guy's head at. We get scenes between Mrs. Beaumont and Bruce, and Andrea saying, does he know? And Bruce is like, he can't know. He can never know. Probably hinting at the fact that Terry is Bruce's biological child, technically. If you know, you know. So then we get our first sequence of Terry out in the field with the test suit that Batman gave him. He's basically trying to stop this robbery at Wayne Powers' research facility. Powers is staging this for the Joker gang to steal some weaponry from him, okay? Bruce walks in on this. Does well, does decently. Overhears a conversation between Powers and the Joker gang that indicates that, oh fuck, they're low-key working together. This is an inside job. There's a scene where Terry is going to be beating down on a Joker gang member badly. Bruce is going to be in his ear because Bruce has comms, and Bruce is like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Stop, stop, stop. Terry's going to be beating down, but the Joker gang is coming. So guess who comes to the rescue? The Phantasm this time comes. Andrea Beaumont in her suit comes to help him. Very poetic that it's her, of all people. Bruce sees what he just saw, which is Terry's anger, rage, beating down on this guy, and he says he still has that rage inside of him. He didn't need a trauma or a dead parent to have this. No, he has it inside of him, but it needs to be controlled. So more training is needed. However, because Terry's just been rescued by the Phantasm, this being that he saw as a child almost kill his parents, she takes him back to the Batcave and reveals herself as Gillian Anderson, Andrea Beaumont, the psychologist who's Bruce Wayne hired to help him. And he's like, what the fuck? You hired the assassin that was trying to kill my parents? So then they get into a huge argument. A huge argument comes out where Terry and Bruce Loki start fighting at one point. You know what I'm saying? And then Terry walks out. He's like, I'm done. I'm done with this. Y'all have been lying to me. The psychologist you freaking had run a profile on me is the one who freaking almost killed my parents. What is this shit? So now we get our third act, okay? Terry's talking to his parents. They tell him about the special program. They reveal all the details that they were part of the special program where they were told you need to reproduce and have a son. We're going to give you some serum or whatever, which was Batman's DNA, I guess, whatever. And we were told to have a son so we can create the next Batman, basically. So Terry is told all this by his dad. So Terry's going through it. Meanwhile, the Phantasm and Bruce try to take down Powers and the Joker gang. Doesn't go according to plan. You see, there's a nerve gas that the Powers is selling. This nerve gas is basically inspired by the formula that the Joker used to have his nerve gas that makes people smile. You know the smiling gas? It comes directly from that. So the Phantasm starts to fight off the Joker gang. Doesn't go according to plan. Both of them kind of get their ass beat because Bruce is old, the Phantasm's old. Batman gets captured and Phantasm just nearly escapes with her life. Terry brings her to Bruce Wayne's medical facility or whatever in his little mansion or whatever, some medical pod. She tells him what happened, that Bruce got taken. All right, they have a conversation. She tells him why she spared his parents' life, and whatever. They have a motivational conversation that brings him to the next course of events. He's just got the revelation from his dad about his origin, and she's told him what she's told him. So he goes into the Batcave and he picks out a suit. All right, the real suit. This is him becoming Batman Beyond, alright? Bruce Wayne is being questioned by Powers, who's like, you're Batman? You've been Batman this entire time? What the fuck? We're literally part of a merger together. I'm a criminal and you're a vigilante. What are we gonna do about this, man? I gotta kill you. Batman Beyond comes to the rescue, and his turn to save Bruce this time. And they have a big climactic fight, which leads to Powers getting hit with his own nerve gas, and this will lead to his origin of becoming Blight, the villain, that you could set up in a sequel maybe, who knows. But that's pretty much the gist of it. That's pretty much what I could spitball. This video is way too long. That's Batman Beyond's origin story. From the beginning where he's a crook criminal, turning into the new Batman. In the actual story, Terry's dad gets killed by the Joker gang, I think. And that pushes him towards the Batman route. I don't really want that. I think it's way more interesting if we could explore the idea of a Batman being born without trauma. This is a big thing. Amanda Waller predicated her whole experiment on inflicting trauma on a child and making him Batman. Bruce Wayne's whole life has been there, right? So for someone like Terry to become Batman without trauma, just by the sheer force of will and the right motivations and the right training and mentorship, I feel like that's a very interesting dynamic. So those are my thoughts on what a good Batman Beyond live-action film would look like, all right? There you go. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.